Okay, so we're now starting on our applesauce. We've strained the rest of our sliced up apples that were in our lemon juice and water bath that was preventing them from getting brown. So we've strained that all out, and we also added the remainder of our apple pie filling to our applesauce. So we have probably just over 2 quarts of apples in our pot right now. We also added 3/4 cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of lemon juice as well. Just like we did with our apple pie filling, we let that sit for about a half an hour and we let it all marinate and all the juices develop. All the good stuff in the apples get brought out with all that stuff. So after we let it sit, we boiled it down. And so now we're just finishing it up, and we're just getting the last chunks of the apples broken up into our nice creamy sauce. And so we also used this handy little blender, I guess. So it has a crank on it, and you can also use like an electrical blender or a food processor. We've also used a potato masher, and even just using your wooden spoon up against the side of the pot to get some of those big chunks, that works as well. So as the the cooking happens and the apple breaks down, it gets a little bit easier to break it up on the side of the pot there. So we're just getting ready to start with our canning, so we'll just let that cook for a little bit longer, and we'll put it in some cans. Alright, so we cooked our applesauce down a bit more, and it's more to the consistency that we're looking for, which is slightly chunkier. So we used our hand mixer some more, and if you prefer your applesauce to be like smooth, then you can use either a blender or a food processor and get that to the consistency that you want it. But we're pretty happy with where we're at right now, so we'll just turn this off. And we have our jars in the oven still. We've been keeping them nice and sterilized, so we'll just grab those out. It's hot. Okay, put them on the stove now. Oven mitts off. Okay, so I have a cup with a handle, so we're going to use that to fish our applesauce out of our pot here. We want to do this all real quick while our jars and our sauce is still really hot, to keep everything sanitary, as well as to ensure that our lids seal. So we're gonna try our hardest to keep this off of the rim of the jars. That way we can get a real clean seal. It's real sticky sauce. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. A bit more?
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Just move that one over there. Grab some more sauce. Regular sized mouth or lid is a little more tricky. There we go. Oh, nice. There we go. A little bit more. And a tiny bit more. How's that?
Can add a little bit more to this one here too.
Okay.
How we do? Is there still some for the other one?
No. It's perfectly gonna fit these 2 jars. There's like just a minuscule amount left in here. This one. Okay, maybe I'll just...
And the top of your spoon.
No, that won't work. I'll just put that in there, take that off the heat. And,
Bubbles out.
what?
Taking bubbles out.
Okay. Push it down.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna try and take as many bubbles out of our sauce as we can. Trying to do it all real quickly, just to keep all the sanitation and heat up. Alright, that looks great. Don't know if you can see from there, but we got just about maybe half an inch of space just to make sure everything's got enough room. That's really hot, so I'm not going to touch it.
Clean the top.
Just going to clean off our tops here. It's really hot. Do I have those tongs? Just use some tongs to keep a hold. Make sure we get on the inside there too, as Debbie was mentioning earlier. There we go, that one looks good. Get this one. There we go, perfect. So now we are going to bang dangle our lid. I may use a cloth just to make sure I don't touch the inside, just to ensure that everything remains sterile. Put that on. Twist that lid real tight. Grab our other. And put that guy on. Put my tongs away. There we go. And we got 2 sealed jars of applesauce. So unlike when we did our canned apples and our apple pie filling, we don't have to use our water bath. So with these, we made sure everything stayed hot, so the seals should pop. Everything is pre-cooked, as you saw, pretty mushy in there. So our applesauce is now done.